The following account was shared by a former night shift nurse who requested anonymity. What you're about to hear has been corroborated by multiple hospital staff members. There are places in this world where reality, well, it sort of bends, where the boundary between our world and something else becomes permeable, where the spirit realm is allowed to be exposed and experienced with the naked eye. Today I'm going to tell you about one such place, a hospital floor that just shouldn't exist, a floor that only appears when the veil is thin. But first, if you've ever experienced something you just couldn't explain in a hospital, hotel, or really any building with a mysterious history, I want to hear from you. Stay until the end, because I'll let you know how you can share your story with our community. Welcome back to Make It Make Sense Spirit, where we explore the shadows between worlds. I'm Yana, and today we're investigating one of the most chilling accounts I've ever received. This story comes from Mercy General Hospital, and before you ask, yeah, I've changed the name to protect those still working there. Picture this. It's 2:30 in the morning in October. The hospital is quiet except for the usual sounds, monitors beeping, distant conversations, the hum of fluorescent lights. Sarah, our nurse, has worked night shifts for 8 years. She knows every sound, every shadow, every little peculiarity of this place. Mercy General is a standard 3-story building, ground floor emergency and admissions, second floor patient rooms and surgical recovery, third floor administrative offices, storage and conference rooms that are locked after 6 p.m. Simple enough, right? The buildings isn't particularly dark. No major tragedies, no construction accidents. Just a typical regional hospital where people are born, heal, and sometimes don't make it home. Except sometimes there's a 4th floor. Wait, did I say 4th? I meant to say 3rd. You see, that's part of the problem. The numbers just don't add up. When the 4th floor appears, the 3rd floor, the real 3rd floor, simply isn't there anymore. Neither is the beige walls and motivational posters. Sarah first noticed it during a particularly difficult night. 3 patients had passed away within hours of each other. Mr. Henderson in room 201, fighting lung cancer. Mrs. Chen in 215, complications from surgery. And old Mr. Rodriguez in 237, who kept asking for his wife Maria, not remembering she'd died 2 years before. The atmosphere was heavy, electric. You know that feeling when a storm's coming? She needed to retrieve some files from the administrative office on the 3rd floor, the insurance paperwork for one of the deceased patients that the family would need in the morning. So Sarah takes the elevator, the old one on the east side that sometimes sticks between floors. She presses the worn button marked 3 inches and feels the familiar lurch as the elevator begins its climb. The 1st floor, the mechanical whir is normal. 2nd floor, still normal. But then something changes. The button panel, shows she's selected floor 3. It's still illuminated, glowing that sickly yellow color. But the elevator keeps climbing. Sarah feels her stomach drop, not from the motion, but from the impossible realization that she's going up to a floor that doesn't exist. But the elevator doesn't stop. When the doors finally slide open with that mechanical groan, Sarah steps into a corridor she's never seen before. The walls are that same hospital beige, that depressing color they call healing tan, but the layout is completely wrong. Where the nurse's station should be directly ahead, there's instead a long hallway stretching into darkness. The carpet is different too, a deep burgundy instead of the practical gray of the real 3rd floor. The fluorescent lights flicker sporadically, some buzzing with that electrical hum that sets your teeth on edge. The air conditioning seems louder here, almost aggressive, and there's a smell. Not antiseptic, but something older, mustier, like flowers left too long in a vase. The air feels thick, charged with an unsettling energy. Sarah's first instinct is to get back in the elevator, but the doors have already closed behind her. She presses the call button. Nothing. The digital display shows the number 4 even though she pressed 3, even though there is no 4th floor at Mercy General. The fluorescent lights flicker sporadically, casting these dancing shadows. And then she hears it, a soft crying coming from one of the rooms. Sarah approaches the sound, her soft-soled shoes making no noise on the strange burgundy carpet. Room 317. But here's the thing. In the real 3rd floor layout, room 317 doesn't exist. The numbering only goes up to 315. The door is, slightly ajar. The crying grows clearer, an elderly woman's voice, broken with grief. a warm light spilling into the dim hallway. Inside, she sees an elderly woman in a faded hospital gown sitting on the edge of what looks like a hospital bed, but somehow older, with metal railings that have been painted over many times. The woman looks up when Sarah enters, and her eyes, they're filled with such profound sadness, and says, "I've been waiting so long," the woman whispers, her voice carrying that peculiar echo you hear in empty churches. "When can I go home? My daughter is expecting me for Sunday dinner. I make her favorite pot roast. I've been waiting so long. When can I go home?" Sarah introduces herself, asks the woman's name. "Dorothy Evans," she replies. "Dr. Thompson said I'd be going home today, but when was that?" Her confusion is genuine, heartbreaking. Sarah checks her patient list on her phone. No signal, which is impossible since the hospital has excellent coverage. She promises to check with the front desk and turns to leave, planning to take the stairs down and figure out what's happening. There's no one by that name, no one matching that description. But the woman seems so real, so present. Sarah promises to check with the front desk and turns to leave. When she turns back around, the room is empty. Over the next several months, Sarah experiences this mysterious fourth floor 6 more times. It's always during night shifts, and always, when the hospital has seen multiple deaths in a short period. She starts keeping notes, documenting the pattern. The floor only appears between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. The patients she encounters there are always elderly, always in distress, and they're always asking about going home. And here's the most disturbing part. When Sarah researches the names they give her, she discovers they're all people who died in the hospital. Some recently, some decades ago. But Sarah isn't the only one. She starts carefully asking other night shift staff. Dr. Martinez admits he's taken that elevator ride. Security guard Thompson has walked those impossible hallways. Even the janitor Carlos has mopped floors that shouldn't exist. They form an unspoken pact. They don't talk about it during day shifts. They don't report it. They just acknowledge that sometimes Mercy General has an extra floor where souls wait for permission to leave. The truth comes out during Sarah's final encounter with the fourth floor. This time, when she enters room 317, the elderly woman is there again. But she's not alone. The room is full of people, dozens of them, all in hospital gowns, all looking expectant, all waiting. And Sarah realizes this isn't just a room. It's a way station. A place where those who died with unfinished business, with fear, with confusion about their passing, come to wait until they're ready to move on. The elderly woman approaches Sarah one last time. "Thank you for visiting us," she says. "We're not stuck here, we're just not ready to leave yet. But knowing someone from your world cares enough to find us, to see us, it helps." Sarah never saw the fourth floor again after that night. She believes that somehow, by witnessing their existence, by acknowledging their presence, she helped them find peace. Now you might be thinking this is just a story. Sleep deprivation, stress, grief affecting perception. And maybe you're right. But here's what I find fascinating. Similar accounts exist from hospitals, hotels, and other buildings around the world, places where the emotional residue is so strong that reality itself seems to bend. I reached out to Mercy General for comment. They declined to speak on record, but I did receive an interesting email from a former administrator. He confirmed that they occasionally receive reports of a fourth floor from night staff, and that these reports have been documented for over 30 years. So here's my question for you. Have you ever been somewhere that felt wrong? Somewhere that seemed to exist outside normal reality? A hotel floor that wasn't on the building plans? A hospital wing that appeared when you were stressed or grieving? I want to hear your stories. Leave them in the comments below or email me. If your story is compelling enough, I'll feature it in a future video. With your permission, of course, and with your identity protected if you prefer. And if you work in a hospital, hotel, or any building with a long history of human emotion, pay attention during those quiet, heavy moments. You might just find yourself somewhere that shouldn't exist, meeting people who need to be seen one last time before they can finally go home. Subscribe for more stories from the places where our world touches something else entirely. Ring that notification bell because you never know when the veil might be thin enough for another account to reach us. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your mind ready. The impossible is closer than you think.